Good morning all of you. Welcome back to our Technical English Communication Unit 4, and in this session we are going to deal with speaking skills component, and in the speaking skills of this unit we have group discussions topic, and today let us see what is this group discussion and what to be learnt while we are participating in a group discussion. Generally, group discussions are meant for exchanging of ideas by the people who are some important contributors of that idea or that organization or that family. So, even in the family, when we are trying to do something new, when we want to do something new, we propose and we take the opinions of other people, how to approach and how to do something, and finally we take a decision. Similarly, in the organizations, when they are proposing for doing something new, all the stakeholders are all the important board of directors, that they sit together and they present their viewpoints, their opinion regarding that issue, and they all exchange they discuss the pros and cons of doing it, and when they thoroughly get convinced, based upon the conclusion, that is, they take a decision, they arrive at a conclusion. So, group discussions are highly essential in the process of administering an organization or running an organization, and even while dealing with the projects, the employees need to discuss with so many people to finalize a way of or the procedure of doing something. That is why today in the professional life, that every employee or every candidate is expected to be communicative and to see their personality in when they participate in the group discussions. That is why in the selection of employees, all the organizations make it as a interview process, that every candidate need to undergo this process of participating in a group discussion, and which ensures them that this candidate would mingle easily with the other colleagues or other employees of the organization. So, not only for the employment, even for the personality of somebody, for your confidence levels, for your abilities, that that it is an inviting factor that everybody need to take part in these group discussions. Let us see the procedure of how these group discussions are conducted academically and even in professions, and how to take part in them. Now, you are all engineering students, and you are entering a professional life, and in this process, that the certain procedure of participating in the group discussions that we need to know. Generally, group discussions are conducted for a group of 8 to 15 members. This is a general norm. Sometimes it may be less than that, or sometimes it may be more than that, but an ideal group would ranging from 8 to 15 members sit together and discuss. Now, this is one way of defining this group discussion. A number of individuals thoroughly examining a subject by exchanging their ideas and views to reach to a conclusion. So, reaching a conclusion is essential in a group discussion. So, they need to reach to a conclusion, that is decision making, and in this process they thoroughly examine, they sit together, they discuss, each one express their ideas, they share their viewpoints and exchange the information, and that the subject would be thoroughly discussed by exchanging their viewpoints, and finally conclusion is drawn. So, discussion is for decision making, and group discussion is different from debate. Debate is that you argue in favor of your stand, your point, your opinion, you always try to justify. It is of more formal kind, but discussions may be a bit informal, but discussions where rigidity would not be seen. The people would be flexible, they check whether their viewpoint is right or wrong by presenting it before the other people, and let's listen to what the others would say, whether their point is valid or not, and finally all the people put together can finalize an issue. Now let us see the significance of this group discussion. Now let us see the significance of group discussion. And when you take part in the group discussion, knowingly or unknowingly, that you acquire a lot of skills. First thing, when a topic has been presented and when you are talking in favor of or against the topic, obviously you try to extract more logic, more reasoning out of it, and that enhances, improves your critical thinking skills. You think of it logically, rationally, and you try to extract the supporting or opposing points for that. And then it enhances your listening abilities. You listen to your team members carefully and you try to focus on the key points that they have mentioned, and by making use of those key points you respond to their views, whether you support them or oppose them. That would happen. That's why we will be keen, and it's an integration of two skills. When you are speaking, you listen to others and you speak to others, and those two, listening and speaking skills, would be enhanced. And understands a subject thoroughly. When some meeting or some discussion is going to take place, generally for the professionals, the agenda or the meeting points would be given a week before. They study the topic and they come for the discussion. And even in the academic context, you will be given the topic prior to that, and you gather certain information relating to that topic, and you try to take your own point of view for the topic. So the thorough understanding of the subject is possible, because you are not only presenting your viewpoint, that you are going to listen to the viewpoints of 10 more members or 15 more members, so as different ways of looking at the subject is possible and you can understand it better. Then enriches communicative competence. Your communicative competence, both verbal, non-verbal abilities, choice of words, expressions, these are all would be possible, and when to interrupt and how to interrupt, what terms to be used, how to convince them, such is all possible. Then enhances your problem solving skills, your analysis, synthesizing and creating some new way of dealing with the things. That problem solving is one of the higher order skills that you will be able to acquire, because you suggest one way, you can see the suggestions of other people about the issue. And then finally the decision making, clarity of the decision. Finally, what are considered, why are they considered, and what action is proposed. So in such a way that decision making would be clear and will get an ability to take the decisions. Then ensures academic success for you as a student, and it obviously adds to your confidence, and obviously you will get popularity even when you reasonably, rationally talk in the group discussions. Okay, this is the significance of group discussion. That's why as a student you will gain a lot by participating in this, and it is an opportunity for you to get the favor, to impress your examiners during the interview. And even in your profession, if you have this group discussion skills, obviously you will get leadership qualities, and you will become project managers, and you will become managers in the organizations. Now, there are certain myths when you are taking part and starting discussion. Certain false beliefs would be there with us, and these false notions will sometimes create a bad image for us. among our team members. That's why we should not have certain false notions in our mind. That's why what are false notions, what are correct thoughts, that distinction need to be known. That's why here first let us see what are the myths of group discussion. Myths means false notion, false beliefs. So whenever we are in the group, everyone will have certain what we can say curiosity that I should be the center of attraction. And once when they think of or when they want to be the center of attraction, they unnecessarily interfere, they disturb, they trouble, they irritate others. And that's why certain thoughts should not be there. And please let us see what are those false beliefs. You should be aggressive. Aggressive means that aggressively with a type of ferociousness, loud noise, loud tone, that people try to shout at others, people try to dominate others, and certain things that aggressiveness is not appreciated. There are certain people who remain silent, but they will have valuable thoughts and valuable information and great solutions with them. And some people may not have anything worthwhile with them, but they seem to be always interfere in the matters of others. That's why aggressiveness is not appreciated. Valid points, reasons are appreciated. That's why don't be aggressive. You should not be. Next, you should speak more. If you consume or you take the time of other people and you are not giving opportunity for the others to speak, people would not appreciate. And almost at once you will get certain negative image in all the people's minds. That's why you should not take much time. You should be brief, and you value your time, you value others' time. Next, you should speak in favor. Suppose a topic has been given that soft drink should be banned, somebody would say, or movies are doing no good to the society, is a statement given. Some people may think that whatever the statement is given, if you argue in favor of the statement, we will get more marks, we will get more impression. It would not be like that. So don't think that always you should always speak in favor. You need not speak in favor. You can talk against it even, or you can find a solution even. That's why this is a notion that if you want to always support the given point, it's not right. So just speak whatever that your mind dictates, your person, inner spirit that dictates. You should cut down your opponents. So when somebody is speaking, you stop, let me say, or something like that. When people always try to stop the opponents, or what is that you are telling and why are you telling like that, when you use certain harsh expressions, harsh body language, that hurts the other people. That's why you should not cut down your opponents, let them speak and make a note of what are their points, and at the end or when they have finished, take your turn and try to talk whether it's you are opposing or supporting those points. Next, you should make others agree to your point. You should make others agree. Make others agree means that you try to convince. When your point is not valid, not a reasonable one, it is mere waste of time, you try to convince the other people. And sometimes instead of getting convinced, they simply nod their head and keep all your thoughts or all your information aside. That's why don't think of convincing the other people by force or by repetition. Next, you should be an individual speaker. Group discussion is meant for group. Everybody should have their 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes of time. That you should not curb their time and you should not make use of their time and you should not do injustice there. And that's why if you are an individual speaker, you consider to be selfish and you consider to be aggressive, and that's why please don't do such. Let us make it as a team, let us make it as a group. When it's a group, all the members are important in the group. Then you should project yourself in style. So, that style some people try to follow and which turns them ridiculous. So, don't try to acquire certain style which is not yours. So, that is why try to be decent enough, give priority to the thought and expression of the thought, but not for all these dominating factors. Now, these are the myths, false beliefs of group discussion when you take part. Now, there are certain do's. What should you do when you take part in a group discussion? And listen to others. First thing, when you listen, you can understand them better. When you speak, they can understand you better. So, that is why you first listen to, so as per their points, you can wisely and suitably respond to them. And it is not necessary to initiate. Initiate means the person who starts the discussion. Initiator obviously gets more what we can say recognition and more importance, and initiator means the person who has a very good familiarity with the given topic. Those people starts the initiation, starts the discussion, and that is called initiation. And when you are not familiar with, when you are familiar with the topic, you can initiate. If you are not familiar with the topic, you need not initiate, and at the time you just listen to, so as you understand the point of view of others. Next, intervene if discussion turns out to be hostile. Sometimes in the discussion, the pleasantness would go away and the discussion turns out to be an argument, or sometimes it goes out of track and sidelined, and the people would talk something unnecessary or something not relevant to the given topic. And in such a condition, you are expected to intervene and just you make a balance of both the sides, or you bring the sidetracked or the unnecessary discussions to be stopped, and you have to bring back the discussion onto the track. Then speak to the point without repetition. Speak to the point. What is necessary for that issue, you should talk, and even in that you should not go for repetition. Repetition seems to be boring. Next one, support your points with facts and figures. Facts and figures gives lot of evidence, and people will never what we can say disagree with you once when the information has been supported by certain numbers, percentages and other things. And there are more things that you need to do. Be gentle with your presentation, and don't get emotional, and don't be silly, and be decent enough. Gentleness is required when you are presenting, and it is impersonal. You are presenting the matter, your personal benefits, your personal grudges, your personal feelings should be kept aside, and you are a professional and you are presenting the information decently to the people. Be natural, be calm and maintain composure, balance of emotions, and be participative and reciprocative. Reciprocation is mutual give and take, respect, reciprocative. When they have given a chance to you, you too try to offer a chance to them. And in such a way, when you are reciprocating, you will have more friends, you will win the hearts of the people. And participative. And once when you have spoken and remain silent and sit aside, that damages, and the entire environment would become dull. So that's why participative means you present your thought and try to pay attention to what the other people are saying. And suppose when you first listen to, then take a chance to present yourself. But that is called participation. That is paying attention not only when you are presenting, even when others are presenting, you should be attentive. think before you speak, and say what you feel. This is what I mentioned, be natural. So everybody is unique in this world. Even though when you are working in a team of 10 members or 100 members, that you are unique. You have your own thoughts, you have your own solutions, you have your own style. Be confined to that. Whatever that the mind that dictates, you go ahead. And don't blindly imitate somebody who seems to be attractive. You will never make your uniqueness if you blindly imitate others. That's why whatever that you feel, you try to say that one. And then be assertive. As I told you, aggressiveness is dominating. Assertive is, I think of my benefit and at the same time, I think of the feeling of the other people. And as a result, I'll find out or I'll take a way via media that is in between both of us. My intention is not to trouble the other person, at the same time my intention is that I should not lose. So, where there comes an adjustment and the attitude towards it. Be assertive and use positive body language. Positive body language is pleasing mentality. Your facial expressions, your gestures, somebody uses a point finger or somebody uses the hands in such a way blaming others. But it should not be done in such a way, and your gestures, your hand movements, your posture, your smile, your facial expressions, these are all something seems to be cheerful, inviting, smiley and friendly. And whenever they see the other person sees you, that they should feel that they can talk to you freely. That pleasantness we have to maintain in our body language. Then certain don'ts are also there in the group discussion along with those do's. Do not be loud or aggressive. Already discussed this in the myths of a group discussion. Do not overboard with enthusiasm. Some people will have a lot of curiosity when they are talking about their favorite actor, when they are talking about their favorite political party. They will show unnecessary curiosity and damages the total environment. They try to capture the entire thing, and with their, sometimes with their knowledge, sometimes with their limited knowledge, they spoil everything. That's why don't overboard and don't try to dominate with the enthusiasm, because you know the topic very well. Do not interrupt other speakers. When the other person is speaking, you let them speak. Let them express themselves and then you respond to them. But you should not interrupt. When you interrupt, the other person may get hurt. Do not deprecate other speakers. Don't insult them and don't make their points as invalid. So, every person, maybe when they are saying 2 or 3 points, two points may be silly, 2 points may not be worthwhile, but 1 point may take the entire thinking process. So, that is why you should not say that those who are aggressively, loudly speaking may have worthy points and those who are silent may not have any points. So, valid points may be there even in the people who are silent and who speak less. Do not initiate if you are unfamiliar with the topic. If you don't know anything, don't try to start the thing, and your innocence, ignorance would be known to public. And in such cases, you are advised to remain silent, listen to others carefully, so as you form certain idea and then you can speak as per that. Now, some more precautions here not to do. Do not change your opinions frequently. First you say no to it, after that you say okay to it, and then you say going back and say no once again. So, such things, fickle mindedness, frequently changing mentality, attitude is makes a person not trustworthy. That is why if you have a certain opinion, get that opinion, express that one. If something need to be adjusted, you adjust that one. But shifting from this side to that side and that side to this side frequently would make you unbelievable. Do not ask irrelevant questions. Questioning is not necessary. If you have a question, you can ask. But for the sake of questioning, you should not pose at irrelevant questions. Do not stop abruptly. When you are talking, you try to make a good beginning, your point, and a good conclusion. Say thank you for listening to your version and like that. Then do not exhibit your emotions strongly, because they may be right or wrong. They may require certain amendment or modification. That's why all your emotion feelings should not be incorporated in the stand that you have taken. Do not be nervous if other people have presented better. This is another problem. Aggressiveness is a problem. At the same time, you should not be an introvert, and you should not suffer in yourself, or you should not be nervous. And sometimes there may be some people have good communication skills, good presentation skills. They may present better than you, but that doesn't mean that you have no points. You have something, and contribute that information to the team's work. Now, finally, let us see the prerequisites of a group discussion. When you want to take part in a group discussion, what features are required in you? First thing, generally people think of that I should speak in English to take part in the group discussion. Language is just a medium, and I should have a communication skills. Communication skills are also secondary, but content is first. Suppose if I ask you something like, do you support cancellation of 356 article in Kashmir? Now we get a problem. What is that article? What has happened in Kashmir? And do you know the consequences of cancelling that article? So, when we don't have any knowledge, what do we speak even though we know English? That's why information is of high priority. The first requirement is knowledge. That's why you are suggested to pay attention on what is happening all over the world. Particularly when you are the professional students, want to seek a placement in the multinational companies, or want to set up your own organizations, you are expected to have a worldly knowledge. And at your age, you should not say that I am interested in this, I am not interested in that. You should have some knowledge of all the fields. And that's why you are suggested to read newspapers, you are suggested to watch news, you are suggested to read magazines and take part in the discussions. So as we will be witty and we will have the viewpoints of all the people. And knowledge is the first requirement. Suppose, should India sign on CTBT? And how can we get women empowerment? How do we make women empowered? So, for that you should have certain psychological aspects, social aspects to be known, and what are the hurdles for women empowerment, and what will happen if women are empowered. Is it going to be a positive effect or a negative effect in such a way that you should be able to speak. So, that is why first requirement is knowledge. The next one is listening. Pay attention what the other persons are speaking. You listen to them, and only when you listen to carefully, you can respond wisely. Third requirement is a presentation. Presentation means on the topic you will have certain opinion, you will have certain idea, and your ideas need to be expressed clearly, briefly, and that presentation will make your team or your group understand your point of view. Then initiation. If you are thoroughly confident that you know a lot about that topic, you can start the conversation, that is the discussion. And if you are not familiar, you are suggested not to take initiation, because if in the initiation you can impress, you can get popularity, and at the same time you will get defamed even if you are unable to do it well, or if you fumble, if you are not clear. That's why it has a sharp edge on both sides. It can take you to the top or it can drop you from there and it can take you to the down. Next one, your body language. The way you sit. I told you that you were starting, your posture, your dressing, your sitting style, your gesture, hand movement and your eyesight, that means looking at the speakers, paying attention to them, looking at all the people and being confident, and your gestures, your smile, everything that matters. Then communication skills, and your communication skills means here choosing of choice, right choice of words and right expressions, courtesy, showing some consideration to the other people and presenting the information in a logical, detailed way. These are all considered to be the communication skills. And the voice audibility, paralanguage element, that's what we say. The audibility of the voice, the pitch, tone, intonation, modulation, everything need to maintain properly. Then cooperation, because you are working in a group. So you are as important as any of the other person. That's why you have to consider that you are one among the equals. That's why this mutual cooperation, reciprocation is important when you are taking part in the group discussions. Now, let us see the language functions. When you are focusing or when you are taking part in a group discussion, certain language functions are important. When you are initiating, your initiation need to be attractive. That's why you can quote some quotes from any famous personalities, or you can define. Generally, majority of the people prefer this definition, and those who have good oratory skills will go for this quotation or making any of anecdotes and other things. So defining is, suppose when I say soft drinks should be banned as a topic for group discussion. What is a soft drink? You have to define soft drink, and then what do we mean by banning, and then why the thought of banning has come and what is your opinion. So with that you can start your discussion, or you can mention an example or a TV show or an advertisement about soft drinks, something like that. There are different styles of beginning it. You can ask a question by posing it, but question means that you should not expect others to answer your question, that you make a question and you try to answer your own question as a style to draw the attention of the people, and some shocking statements and some figures and statistics about it, and some short story that you can tell, or some general statements you can make. What is a soft drink? Let us find out how many people or how many of us are ready to ban the soft drinks. In such a way, you can make some generalized statements in the beginning of the discussion. That is one way of initiating a discussion. When you are trying to express your opinion, now let us see, there are several ways of doing it. Some are informal, some are formal, some are semi-formal, some are very strong and some are neutral. So according to me, I think soft drinks should not be banned, or I believe that soft drinks are unhealthy. Personally, I think soft drinks are for relaxation. They give us pleasure. So as far as I am concerned, that soft drinks are unhealthy. I am totally convinced that soft drinks are doing no good to the health. So in such a way, you can use your own expression to express your opinion. Next, leading a discussion. Suppose when more thoughts are required or more people to involve into the discussion, you can take the initiation of asking a question, or you can comment. What is your opinion about this? What do you think about this? Do you have anything to say? Or let's discuss it thoroughly. Or does anyone have any comments to make? So this type of expressions you use to make the people, to give a chance to the others to express. Sometimes some people are a bit reserved, and when people give them a hand, a chance to speak, they start and they overcome their initial coldness. Next, agreeing, disagree. If you agree, you use certain terms. If you disagree, you need to use certain terms. And I think you are right when we are agreeing. I completely agree with the idea, and yes, definitely this will work out. I think you are mistaken, you are wrong, and I strongly disagree with your thought, and this is totally unacceptable for me. So, in such a way, you use certain expressions. Next, cutting into speech. Cutting into speech means when somebody is talking long and talking nonsense, or somebody is deviating from the topic, or somebody turns out to be hostile, unpleasant. At the time, you can interrupt those people, and even while you are interrupting, it should not be in a harsh way, and you have to use proper expression. I am sorry to interrupt, but I apologize to stop you. Your point is also correct, but may not be relevant to the topic of discussion. I think this view may deviate us from our given topic. Sorry to remind you that we are deviating or we are falling short of the time. So, in such a way, we remind the people when they are deviating by interrupting them. And okay, certain topics have been given to us as per our syllabus in first semester in TEC. These are the 3 topics, because these 3 topics are relevant to the content what we have learned in our 4th unit, that is energy. Dumping of nuclear waste. So, nuclear reactors, nuclear power plants use uranium rods, nuclear rods, and when they are completed fusion, we get certain ashes. That ash, uranium ash, is very dangerous. The radiation would come out of them even after thousands of years. So, that is why how to dismantle, that is in the sense dispose that nuclear waste is a big threat for the humanity, and that when you know what are the ways that scientists are following for disposing that waste, you can take part in this discussion. So, that is why you have to study, you have to gather some information through internet and try to find out and try to suggest the new ways even. And even certain Hollywood movies will also give you certain idea of how the developed nations are trying to explore the new ways of exposing this, disposal of this waste. Next, exploring eco-friendly energy options. As we discussed earlier in the reading parts, that renewable, non-renewable energy resources and some are eco-friendly and some are harming the environment, and they release greenhouse gases which are resulting in greenhouse effect or global warming. So, eco-friendly energy options, what are they? So, if your point of view relating to them, that you can mention in your discussion. Lifting subsidies on petrol, diesel and LPG. We have seen in one of our topics that subsidies, giving subsidies is a big hurdle that our governments are unable to invest on alternative sources of energy, and subsidies are drying up all the economic resources of the country. So, that is why who are getting subsidies, are they necessary, or how can we overcome this problem of subsidies, that you can suggest in your discussion. Okay. And some more general topics would also be given in the group discussion. Look at daughters are more caring than sons, social as well as family feelings that we can express. So, how better we understand the family and the boy girl and parents and children relationships. Next, economic liberalization will lead to slavery. So, what do we mean by economic liberalization, globalization? If you do not know what is economic liberalization, you cannot contribute anything to the discussion. That is why we told that knowledge is the prerequisite, the very first prerequisite for taking part in the group discussion. Next, movies are doing more harm than good. So, what do you support this or oppose this? Movies are doing more harm than good. So, society is getting more negative impact by watching the movies than learning anything good. Arranged marriages is preferable to love marriages. So, here certain anecdotes, examples, supporting logical points, these are all something important when you are dealing with this type of topics. It's a social living, social systems need to be understood, family life and possible troubles or problems in the future. Those are all that you will be able to imagine, predict. Next, electronic media is more beneficial than print media. In the next forthcoming unit, that is Media Matters, you are going to see this. Print media is newspapers, magazines, electronic media is internet, television and other things. So, which one is better? You make a comparison and you need to support one particular way of reaching the people, reaching the masses. So, this type of topics would be given. These are all simple topics. Even at the higher level, you will be given international topics, internationally recognized are important topics. Okay. This is all about group discussion, and once when you step into the university and in our laboratory sessions, we will make you into groups and we will revise these norms of group discussion and see that you practice or you take part in these discussions as a practice.